Bosses
That's
are
a
now
real thing.
following their employees online and shit, like Twitter.
Did you see that girl that got fired from NASA? Fucking hilarious. She got fired from NASA yesterday.
Oh, yeah, didn't she,
She's
like,
like,
say,
holy fuck, I got a job at NASA. And some guy tweeted her, he said language. And she said, suck my dick and balls, I work at NASA.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, and I am, one of the people that oversees something at NASA. And then that was it.
What?
She was about to be an
Talking about-
astronaut.
Well, she was about to be an intern working at NASA. And she
Oh.
was like, here it is. Everyone shut the fuck up. I got accepted for a NASA internship. And look, he writes language. She says, suck my dick and balls. I'm working at NASA. And he says that I'm on the National Space Council that oversees NASA.
That's hilarious. Oh, how dare! How
sad.
dare you,
Come on,
Homer
that's funny.
Hickman.
And first of all, that shit is funny. Suck my dick and balls.
Second of all,
and it's a
look at this.
girl.
Second of all, we didn't even go to the fucking moon.
You don't think
fuck
we went
is
to the moon? I saw you talking about that.
Yeah, no, I don't. Look, I could be convinced. You know,
I was convinced that we
but-
didn't for a long time. Now I'm convinced I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't think we went to the moon. Just
makes you think
off
that?
of base? It's not rooted in science.
How much have you really paid attention to it? Because I went down the rabbit hole
I
for
go-
many years.
I go off kind of like it's always like the social kind of where there's smoke, there's fire type clues of just like, us being in a race and no countries coming second.
Right.
Us, other space programs not catching up to 1969.
1969 and 1972.
American technology.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like every time we went was under the Nixon administration.
That's a good one.
These types of little things that just make you go, no, probably like it.
Did you ever
not
watch,
like a flat earther, but it's just
did you
like
ever watch
I
the
just don't
press
think about it.
conference? You ever watch the press conference when they returned from the moon?
No, wait. What's
Oh,
the
you haven't
what's
even
the
seen the
clue?
good stuff.
What's the clue in there? Or what's the
They
suspicious thing?
They look super depressed. They look super deceptive. They look fidgety.
Yeah.
And they're talking weird and they're saying shit that they refute later. One of the things they said, Michael Collins, who's actually he's supposed to be he never landed on the surface of the moon. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong did. He stayed up in the orbiter. And they were asking about stars, and he said, "I don't recall seeing any stars." And then years later, he wrote in his book about how magnificent the stars looked. There's a lot of that shit.
Oh, wow.
But the press
I didn't even
conference
see
itself,
that.
if you want, and this doesn't mean anything. I'm not a cop, but if I was a cop and I was interviewing them, I'd be like, "These motherfuckers are guilty. Something is wrong here." Like they seem like guilty people.
Yeah.
And you could could say, "Hey, man, they were probably psychologically distressed. They were probably dealing with the pressure of having come back from the moon and all this fame that they had never experienced their whole life. They're astronauts, they're scientists, and now all of a sudden they're standing in front of all these people and everyone's asking them questions and they feel super nervous." But
It's like, nah, these niggas was lying. Let me tell you, everybody. My favorite thing is when because I'll say it very casually, and people become like, patriots and rocket scientists and want to tell you like how we went. I'm like, you don't know either.
well, all this we shit is bullshit because it wasn't you and it wasn't me. So
Yeah.
let's stop with that.
Also, we probably lied about it, and we lie better than any other country on earth, and I'm proud of that.
There's a lot of weird shit with the video footage. There's a lot of footage where it looks like they're on wires, or they're like dangling from wires, and they bounce back up from their feet in this weird way. It looks like they're being yanked up from the ground. There's a video where it looks like they're on trampolines. If you Google astronauts on trampolines, no, I'm not even kidding.
It just looks like they're.
I actually put it up. It's a video that I found. Google astronauts on trampolines. There's a video on YouTube. And you're watching them bounce around. You're like, wait a minute. You guys are on the fucking moon, and you're hiding behind the lunar module. Like, you can't see their feet. You can't see how they're doing this. But it looks like either they're bouncing on something or they're being yanked up in the air. Or it's 1/6 gravity, and it just has a weird effect on people. But look at this. Watch this. Like, how strange is this? See, look, he just lands. But even the way he's moving, it's like he's being dangled. It's very strange.
Yeah.
You see him bouncing around. But
Yeah.
that also could just be...
All the stuff we did we were like playing golf and bouncing around. Like the moon landing set was built by the people who made Discovery Zone.
But it also could be
He's like
this
slides.
is look, he fell. Boom. Look, he just fell. He just jumped up and fell. That's so strange. But it also could be this is just what your body does at 1/6 Earth's gravity. You know? There's a whole bunch of
I don't know. You know what? I'm excited to see
This
is
one's weird, too.
someone else going back to the moon, and then if it matches,
This is from a movie. I forget what the name of the movie was, but you could watch some of they show some special effects they use in movies, but watch some of the weird shit. Go a little bit further ahead of this. Yeah, right there. There's some of the weird stuff where you see these guys like fall down, and then it looks like they just get yanked back up by wires. It's very strange.
Huh. Yeah, I mean,
But the press conference is the strangest.
yeah, it's the social aspect of it, because it's like I won't begin to know like how the flag is supposed to look and the waving and the shadows and the thing that like a lot of people argue about. It's just the political, and so it's like I kind of think I know when the government's lying
Dead
about
on.
something. You know what I mean? Like the
Watch
history
this.
is there.
Watch this. Watch that guy stand back up. Watch this. Watch how he gets up. Like he's gotten yanked up.
Oh.
There's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of those that makes it look like they're on wires and they're being pulled back up to their feet. It's very strange. But again, have you ever been in 1/6 Earth gravity? I haven't.
No.
I don't know what that. Maybe it just looks fake because when you're in 1/6 Earth gravity,
That's just how movement
Yeah.
works.
Do you think we never ever been in life like up until this day?
My conspiracy belief is specific to thinking that a man has walked around on the surface of the moon. Specific to that, crashing, lunar, whatever.
that's all 100% legit.
Yeah, of course. It's specifically man moving.
Right.
Did he
on
get
the
out and go like
surface
this on the
Yeah,
moon?
it's specifically that.
And you
Like,
don't think anybody's ever done this
I don't think so. No.
in life, like even
Yeah,
till
I don't
this day?
think. I don't think. I mean, we're the
See
only
if you can
country that
find
would have.
the press conference, some weird clips from the press conference, because the press conference will trip you out.
And see, just like other, countries who have the means to do it, like their intention about going.
Yeah, play some of this. Play some of this and go big
Astronauts
screen.
Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, Edwin Aldrin.
Look how sad these guys look. It's so weird. Watch this.
It was our pleasure to have participated in one great adventure. It's an adventure that took place not just in the month of July, but rather one that took place in the last decade. We all here and the people listening in today had the opportunity to share that adventure over its developing and unfolding in the past months and years. It's our privilege today to share with you some of the details of that final month of July that was certainly the highlight for the three of us of that decade.
They just went to the moon and they all look like they just saw their
That's
dad
only
naked.
part of it.
They all
That's
look
only
like they
part- it
lying.
gets-
They like
yeah.
the fucking
You tell
light.
him, Neil.
And this is, yeah, it looks so fake. But again, that could be just extreme nerves. It could
Yeah.
be people that don't know how to handle being in front of press. It could be introverts that are forced on the camera.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of issues.
If you went to the moon and then you came back and then you were sitting at a press conference, would you be at the like what would your actions be? Would you be like, yeah, or would you be like more like certain?
No,
like,
it would look like a Lakers press conference after they won. Just I'd be like lean back, I have my hat on,
with some champagne?
just pointing to reporters. Like,
What's up?
And why didn't they bring back like a rock or
No,
something?
they did.
Oh,
they did. They brought it back a lot. Yeah, they brought back many rocks, but some of them turned out to be petrified wood. They gave one of them to
Wait,
the
that's a
Prime
real
Minister.
thing? That's a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, they gave a moon rock in 69 or 70 to there's the Prime Minister of Holland, whoever it was, whoever the person who runs Holland.
Mm-hmm.
And years later, they analyzed it, and it was petrified wood. It was not a moon rock.
what?
in fairness, I do get the like by the time we got to Holland, the gift basket's gonna change. It was like, we're not giving away the real moon rocks to Holland, bro. Like that, like, you know,
Right.
England gets a real moon rock.
Yeah, France gets a moon
rock.
littler moon rock.
Yeah, but they get a little, they get a moon rock. They gave us a statue.
Just go find some
What you think
rocks.
about
Yeah,
this?
just like you got some,
Those fucking dudes some rocks.
What do you think about this Mars mission?
Look, that's all real. Look, rovers are real. It's all the technology is proven and legitimate, and I don't think you could ever fake anything today like you could fake things in 1969. I think if anything, for sure, what they did is it's been proven that they faked some footage. For sure, some photographs. There's a photo
NASA
of Michael
recorded
Collins.
over the original. That like again, those little things. Like it's like you recorded over the original.
Yeah, the original.
In a world where even the importance of syndication was known.
I think they also lost the telemetry data, which is like the binary hard ones and zeros that show the distance between the Earth and lunar module at every step of the trip.
They lost it?
Yeah, they lost that shit. But, then again, you got to realize, like, people die and people are responsible for storage and no one's paying attention and there's funding and their funding gets pulled. And there's plausible reasons for some of the fuck-ups.
I mean, there are episodes of Blossom being guarded in a vault somewhere in Burbank. Episodes of Blossom,
right,
bro.
but you could get fucking money off of Blossom. You can't make any money off of these goddamn moon landing clips. Look, there's some people that absolutely are convinced that we didn't go, and I used to be one of them. And I would love if they proved that it was fake. It would make me more happy than anything else in the world.
You know what? It would make me very happy too. The thing that keeps me holding on to maybe we went is I toured NASA once, and they were nice.
Oh, that's probably it then.
I was like, oh, they were nice.
But you got to realize those aren't the same people. When people say like NASA lies, okay, but those were NASA from 1969. These are different humans.
Yeah.
We're talking about 48 fucking years ago. These are completely different human beings. Yeah.
They stand on the backs of liars.
Yeah. Well, there was
And stop inviting us to NASA so we can let us ask questions if you're going to fucking lie.
What?
That's what you say about the tour.
I'm like, stop inviting us to NASA and allowing us to ask questions if you're going to lie.
Well, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they think they're lying. I don't think they're involved. Like, if there was a conspiracy, like say if they did fake the moon landing, no one today who's alive was a part of that.
Yeah.
Except Buzz Aldrin. He's the only one still alive. But he did something.
Did he punch the dude in the face?
Yeah, he punched some guy.
What did he
said? Bart Seabrill. Bart Seabrill made a movie. I had dinner with him.
Oh, with the guy
Bart
he punched?
Seabrill. Yeah, dinner with him many years ago. And back when I was a full-blown moon non-believer. And, I contacted him, got a hold of him, took him to dinner. And
I love that. I like that you use your celebrity for good.
I don't know if it's for good, but it was for my own curiosity.
Like you just like these real specific pockets of like people that you just want to talk to. It's like, let me.
Well, I wanted to sniff them out.
You
could see someone doing interviews. You could see someone in an edited format, and you kind of get a sense of who they are. You don't really get a sense of who they are until you actually talking to them.
Yeah,
like you and him sharing a plate of pasta.
What was his? What did he give you anything that's like gives context to like that moment, or like just like why he did it?
He was convinced. He was absolutely convinced that it was a hoax. And what he was convinced was that there was a space race between us and Russia, and that it was essentially a militarized space race. And what they were trying to do is prove military superiority. If you had the rockets that could get you to the moon, your technology was superior.
Yeah.
And the way he framed it is like the United States had control over what was aired. They put it on television, and no one foresaw the future. No one foresaw that one day you would be looking at these clips on YouTube and analyzing them and putting them in slow-mo. They didn't even think that was going to be a thing.
No,
they thought they were going to show it on television, and that would be
networks.
it. Yeah, and they were going to show it in black and white, and they were going to have it 3D projected so that you would project it on a screen, and then people who were filming it would have to film the screen. Like they didn't even get a live feed. When it was airing on television, it was airing people filming the screen that it was being projected on.
So, what?
Yeah. They broke it down so it looked more and more grainy and fake. Like if you were trying to do something that was not done to the technology of the day that would possibly obscure some fraud. They did it all those ways. There's so many things that they did that you would go, huh, it's in terms of like conspiracies, it's a conspiracy theorist's wet dream. Because if it is a fake, it's the biggest fake of all time. And there's so many things that are squirrely about it. There's so many things. Doesn't mean it's fake.
Yeah.
But there's so many things.
So has anybody been to the moon?
No. No one's been to the moon since 1969 to 1972. Those are the only trips. They did 7 attempts, 6 of them successful. Apollo 13 was the one that wasn't successful. That was that big movie. They landed on the moon and then came back 7 times. 262,000 miles away. Now, here's where it gets crazy, or plus or minus, depending on where the moon's
That's
at
not
the
that
time.
far.
What's crazy is 262,000 miles is pretty far. What's
I
crazy
was
is...
like, wait.
Oh, no, my bad. I'm thinking about, that's 3 zeros.
Because I was like, what map are you seeing?
Oh, man.
What's interesting is that no other human space mission where a human's been a part of it since then has ever gone more than 400 miles from the Earth's surface.
Is that where the
Space station,
the station is?
all the space shuttle missions, everything.
Oh, that's
Everything
a little,
is
I
inside
thought it
of
was
400
further than
miles.
400. Wow.
Nope, 400 miles.
So the guy you had dinner with did what for Buzz Aldrin to sock him?
He told Buzz Aldrin he was a liar. Yeah. He said, "You're a liar and a crook," and Buzz went, "Whap! Pitch." Yeah. Popped him right in the jaw.
And then said,
Did anything happen after? Does anyone contact him after that? I'd imagine.
I don't know. I don't know what he's
outside
doing
of
these
the
days.
PR of it all.
I think he's like an Uber driver now.
I mean, immediately after the
Buzz
punch.
Aldrin?
No. The guy, Bart Seabrill.
But I mean, immediately after the punch, is there any type of like?
I think he tried to press charges, and the cops told him to go fuck off. I think it was one of those things.
Okay.
It wasn't the best punch either. I mean, if you go to the hospital from that punch. And Buzz was like in his 80s at the time.
Damn.
But he harassed a lot of those guys. He harassed a lot of the astronauts and tried to get them to swear on Bibles. He'd bring a Bible and say, swear in this Bible that you went on the moon. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there was a lot of weird shit. There's another one that's a 25th anniversary of the Apollo moon missions. He gives a speech at the White House in front of this group of honor roll students, like some of the best students in the country. Mm-hmm. And Neil Armstrong gives this real weird fucking speech. It's like, we have here amongst us some... You want to hear it? Find Neil Armstrong's cryptic speech.
What makes it weird?
When you'll see it, you'll get it. It's just real. It doesn't mean we didn't go to the moon. It doesn't mean that.
By the
but
way,
it's fucking weird.
It's really funny because I presented it as like, yeah, I don't think we went, and I didn't even have half of what you're giving me.
Oh, I'll give you way more. There's a lot. Watch this. You're gonna watch this. Here.
Public appearance and held back tears as he spoke these brief cryptic remarks.
This is from a
before the
funny thing
next
happened on the way to the
generation
moon.
of
Bart
taxpayers
Seabrill's movie.
As they toured the White
But this
House.
is a real thing that happened.
Today we have with us a group of students among America's best. To you, we say, we have only completed a beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
What
He is
the
I mean,
fuck
okay, well, two things.
does that mean?
A little unfair to it is when you add that fucking Wonka music to anything, everything sounds incredibly creepy. But,
Yes, true.
But it does sound like
One of truth's
he's trying to
protective
tell you
layers?
something. Yeah, it does.
I mean, you can't get more cryptic.
yeah. What,
And you also can't get more exciting if you were a conspiracy theorist.
It almost kind of sounds like he's like, and to the child who actually figures out how to go
Yeah.
to the fucking moon.
There are great
Thank you.
breakthroughs for those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
What would you rather? The moon confession or the R. Kelly confession? If you had to pick one.
R. Kelly made a song.
I mean, yeah.
his song that did it.
I need that moon confession, bro.
Yeah.
I need that moon confession.
The R. Kelly, I don't need that confession. I'm good.
Yeah, no,
I
we
get
know.
it.
We know. It's like,